It's 2 years ago when it's about when I read a poem by one of my friends. He's a contemporary poet, Farshad Somboldel, and that resonated my feelings and ideas of migration. And in this project, we are translate those feelings into music. And we know that we all have different stories and dramas in migration, and that's why we call this project Tales of Migration. So that was the whole thing about the project. So Adib will explain a little more about the music.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I wish we could be in person, but since we're not in person and we don't have any papers that explain the kind of instruction for you about the concert, I'm going to just give you a couple of tips about it. We musicians used to tell the audience to turn off their cell phones when they attend our concerts, but we regret that. But you should just keep your cell phones on, please. And since we tried really hard to give you good quality sound and good quality images by the help of Bob and Mehrad here and Niayesh, we have been working for 2 days almost, and in order to give you some good quality sound. So please, if you can, use your headphones to be able to hear all the details. And I just want to briefly explain about the music. It won't be a long program. It's just 40 minutes or 50 minutes. We're going to play two tunes. The first one is by Niayesh, and the second one is by me, which I wrote about 4 years ago before I moved to US. Well, maybe you will hear some sounds that kind of are unfamiliar to you or sound strange, but just try to associate those sounds with the things that you have heard before. Well, as everything is progressing, music is progressing too, and the musicians are kind of like paying more attention to the sounds around them, the nature sound, the cities, and we kind of somehow imitate some parts of that. And maybe in order to kind of relate to them, you can associate those sounds with the sounds that you can hear around yourself. Well, neuroscientists say that concert halls and theater halls and concert shows and theater shows are like gyms for brain. So your brain are literally working out, it producing kind of protein. So you can kind of deal with those sounds and just try to, as I said, associate them with the sounds that you have heard before. And I hope you enjoy. I hope your heart enjoys the concert. And I hope your brain exercises.
Can you hear? Okay. Bob, ready when you are.
We can hear you. Your video has
Yep.
frozen.
Okay. So thanks for hearing us. It's a little bit strange. I'm talking to myself, but thanks a lot. It was Niyesh's piece. We don't have any names for it yet. We'll come up with a good name later. But the next piece is a piece which is called "The End Ago," before I moved to US and thoughts towards migration and the things that I miss in the country that I miss, my family, especially my mom that I miss. And I know how my mom misses me too, which is a little bit sad. And I can guess how much a mom will be sad if she loses a son. I want to dedicate this song, although it's very little, to the amount of sadness that Navid Afkari's mom is facing right now. But I want to dedicate this song to Navid Afkari's mom, and I hope for peace. This will be the last piece. Thanks for hearing us. And if you had any questions regarding the things that we use, just feel free to reach out and ask us. We will probably have our Facebook pages, our emails, our numbers. Thanks a lot. The end of the story.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
Thank yeah, thanks to you
Wonderful.
for having us this wonderful event.
Yeah, it's really depressing for our for us musicians because we can't go on the stage, and I think the last thing that will be open will be the concerts or theaters. So it's always nice to be heard. Thanks a lot.
Do you have time for just a couple of questions from the audience?
Yeah, I'd love to do that. Yeah.
Okay. We have one from the Q&A. If audience members, if you'd like to raise your hand in the chat, you can ask a question that way. We also have the Q&A open if you want to do so that way. We have one question already from Adam R, who says, thank you, and how is your music received and enjoyed in Iran?
Well, we had a couple of concerts. We started this project and we didn't have a name for it yet. We called it Tales of Migration for this specific project because it was the first time that we were playing it in US. We played a couple of concerts in Iran, but unfortunately we started this project a little bit late. We both came to US a couple of months after, and but we have a couple of successful concerts over there. You pretty much like it.
Okay. Any other questions? I do want to mention that a lot of people have mentioned that they really were touched and appreciative of you mentioning Navid Afkari. I know that that meant a lot to a lot of our audience members.
I think Jeremy has a question.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wondered, are there any restrictions on your playing this kind of music in Iran? Can you just go into a concert hall and perform for an audience?
Yes, yeah. There are some restrictions to the music that, I mean, in general, we have to go through getting permissions for concerts in Iran. You can't easily go on stage. You can't like rent a concert hall and go on stage. You should definitely get permission from the ministry. But if you have lyrics in your music, they usually the lyrics usually goes through another process of getting permission because they should monitor the lyrics for any like political thing or sexual thing or anti-religious things. It takes a while. It you know, the bureaucratic thing is a little bit longer, definitely than here. But we don't have any restriction not to play this kind of music, especially if you play instrumental music. You're all fine.
Okay. We have another, someone would like to know if you have a definition of improvisation in music.
Well, kind of composing at the moment. That's the simplest way to explain it. Well, I'm right now I'm a student in a PhD program called ICIT, which stands for Integrated Composition, Improvisation, and Technology. And whenever it comes to explaining improvisation, we're all like, we're not sure how to explain that. It's a bit difficult to, you know, define improvisation, and it gets even more difficult as we are going through that. But a simple explanation can be composing at the moment.
Okay. Another question we have, let's see. Sorry, how do you see the future of online performance and teaching?
Well, I can say
Yeah, go
it's
ahead.
my opinion. Yeah, I'm not seeing a good future for this, and I don't actually like this because the way that music progress, it's in person. It's to feel the audience, and yes, right at the difference between our performance here in Iran, it was like we didn't got the sense that we didn't feel that audience in our room. So we kind of like it was just like typical recording session for us, and But when you have audience, it's completely different. You have like other inspirations at the moment, especially in improvised music.
There's sort of a back and forth between you and the audience.
Interacting with the audience is always really interesting, but I actually kind of started to like this platform. I mean, it never takes the place of being in person, but it was I think it was my second time performing online like this, and from a point of the performance, I don't feel that the audience is not there. I kind of feel them because I don't know. I think this kind of performing kind of helps your imagination too. I don't know how it goes, but I think the best thing that can be improved is that the delay between the audience and the performer, or like there is a specific type of performance called telematic performance that even the performers are away from each other. We actually wanted to do that for this performance because I live in California, and we wanted to do a telematic performance that he is here and I'm there. And there is a kind of there is a type of platform for that you can do with not much delay, like 0.1 millisecond or something, but still it has lags, and you still can't be you're not able to have the image very clearly. But in some telematic performances, they use this, what do they call them, holographic things, that they even project the image of the other person on the stage next to you with the same size, exactly the same, and they play together. Last year we played one of those telematic performances between UC San Diego and UC Irvine in California. That 4 of us were in UC Irvine, and the other 4 was UCSD. And I know that people have tried it in Korea too, like between US and South Korea, they performed. I had a plan to play with one of my friends in Amsterdam from here. Well, it's doable, but still not. It needs a little bit progress to remove all the delay, and you can have a clear image and clear sound. But right now they do that, and the sound that transfers equals the quality of a CD sound. So you can clearly hear the other person and feel that he or she is live next to you.
Wow. That sounds amazing. Someday.
Yeah. So that would be the future. I mean, it exists right now, but it will improve and get better.
Okay. We have a question from Bahar Taheri. What is the name of the blue instrument that Adib was playing in the first piece?
It's called melodica. Melodica.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw the other side, because the other side is a keyboard, and it's exactly like a piano, but you blow in it.
Okay. Ali Oli asks, is there any plan to perform it in person?
Perform this project?
Just says it, I assume so, yeah.
Okay, that's funny because I appreciate Ali. Ali, he watched this. Thank you for watching, and he's my roommate. And yeah, so we will have in-person concert at home.
A couple of practicing. Well, he tolerates us.
Yeah, and we have to. I want to use this moment to thank him.
Yeah,
he was a huge help for us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One person asks, so how do you manage to be so Iranian in your music while using non-Iranian instruments?
That's a good question.
Well, you hit the point.
I don't think there's a specific answer for this, but maybe knowing Iranian traditional music that affects on your principal instrument. The thing is, improvisation comes from all the backgrounds that you have in music. for example, if it's an artist, it's a rock musician, so by any chance he decided to play improvise on his instrument, so he will suddenly without him know, he starts playing all the things that comes from his hometown, his background in music, the things that happens to his life. And I believe that that's something comes from comes from here.
Okay. Let's see. So Ali Reza Gol asks how we can follow your recent or future projects. Do you have a website or?
Not yet, because we started this project a couple of weeks ago. We talked about this performance and we decided to name this project that we had in Iran. We don't have still a website. Maybe after this performance, we should start promoting the duo and start an Instagram page, a Facebook page, or a website. Thanks for the idea.
And we'd be happy to post those links on our website or on our Facebook page and website for people later on as well, when you have those. Let's see.
Mohammed Eskandari has raised his hand, so.
Okay, go ahead, Mohammed. Let me unmute you there. Okay, go ahead.
Hi, do you have my voice?
Yes.
Okay, first of all, thanks for the amazing performance. I really enjoyed that. I had just had two main questions in my mind. At first, so the title of this event was improvisational music. So, but Adib said that about the second song, the second tune actually, you made it 4 years ago, and I wanted to ask whether did you improvise that 4 years ago, that we can call it improvisation or not, because I was confused about that.
Yeah, so there is a type of improvisation that you set some rules or set some atmospheres, but you don't specifically say how much this should last or what exactly should you play. So this song had a tune, had a melody, had a specific melody, but it didn't have specific harmony and it didn't have specific length. And I exactly didn't know how the progress will go. And this song changes each performance. But the main tune, which is just 7 or 8 seconds of tune, that one stays the same. The core, I know the core. I have written the core. But the whole progress changes. And this piece originally was halfly written for a quartet, for 4 players. And then I changed it. I mean, I didn't change it. I just took the tune and I started improvising on it. So there is a type of improvisation that we call it free improvisation, that you don't have any idea what's going to happen. Like the beginning of the first piece was free improvisation. We didn't set any rules. We just wanted to make noises for a couple of minutes and then start a tune that we already written. So it was half improvised and half composed. The second tune was the same. I knew the melody, but I didn't have any idea what will happen, and it changes each time.
Okay. So there wasn't, I mean, any specific piano sheet that you would just follow. A part of it was improvised, even now.
Yes. There's just 4 bars of a melody.
Okay. The other question that I had was related to the first tune, which you used flute-like instrument, but which sounded a little bit strange because, I mean, when you use melodica, I was like, okay, that's kind of fits into the tune. But that sound was for me really strange, that I thought it should be related to a sound of a country, of a city, I mean, of a neighborhood that you want to, I don't know, maybe you want to show the sound of birds, but I couldn't imagine what could that be. I know it's a bit wrong to ask what was your purpose of that sound, because when people have a music, the other, you can say that people should decide and people should imagine what they want to drive for that. But yeah, I just had this question in my mind.
Well, the reason that I chose those instruments was that I really liked the sound. At the first place, I really liked the sounds. And well, in order to kind of make it a little bit simple to hear, I suggested that you can imagine that it's kind of imitating a bird or the nature of a field. Well, after I played it, it came into my mind. But first of all, I really liked the sound itself. And I thought that during those noises, it really fits into that noises. First, it points out to something. I never played this instrument as a player, a really player of it. It's called Nejofti, and it's from the southern of Iran. And they played it in a different way. I just make noises with it, and I just found out different noises by even holding it in a wrong way. I sometimes do that. In order to do that free improvisation thing, one of the ideas that I have is I grab an instrument and I just play it, and I just remove all the things that I have about that instrument in my head, how they hold it, how they play it, how they blow in it, or like how they hold it. The noises that nobody has played it before, nobody has figured it out before. And I try to fit them into my projects. That's one of my kind of hobbies in my job. But yeah, I didn't have specific bird or specific place in my head. I just explained it in that way to kind of make it simple to be heard, or you can associate it with something to relate to it. A question?
No, thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Let's see. We're a little just a minute over time, so I'll just wrap up with a couple more questions. One, Shahriar Karimi would like to know if you have any performances in the near future.
Probably we are trying to see if we can play in California this time, because we try to connect the student organization of Minnesota here with the student organization in California. And we have some plans to be able to bring these projects over there, both to connect these organizations and also have a second concert for ourselves.
Okay. And just one last question from Mohsen. Is it possible to sort of bond your music with Western/American music, and or are you willing to do so?
Are you willing to do so?
Me? I'm not right now. I don't think.
Okay.
Well, I don't mind at all. Because my background is in classical music. My bachelor's was playing piano, classical piano. And I definitely got inspired by that. And I have some thoughts that relate to that. And I play a Western instrument, so I can't say no.
Okay. Anything, so before we wrap up, anything you two would like to say before we make some announcements, then go?
Thanks a lot for making this happen. Thanks a lot for supporting us. Thanks a lot for making this opportunity for us. It's a great opportunity for, as I told you, like we musicians are going to be a little bit miserable for a while. So these events, these kind of help us get back. And especially in summer, we get a little bit lazy. These projects kind of like make us get back in track. So thanks a lot. Thank you so much. And thanks to the audience that heard us. Thank you so much for put time. Especially that I think we have some audiences from Iran, and I think in Iran is right now 6 a.m. or something. I know it's really difficult listening to music at 6 a.m. Thanks a lot for doing that.
And thank you so much for an amazing performance, very touching performance.
Thank you. Thank you.
Before I let everyone go, I just want to let you know that a recording of this performance will be available tomorrow on our website, and I've put that link in the chat. You may have to scroll up a bit, it should be there. Also, Tuesday at 7:30, we'll have a performance of classical sitar music of Iran with Dan Ryan and Chris Gray. And Wednesday, we'll have Juan Cole talking about his newly published translation of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. So please join us for those events. There are links to those in the chat as well. And of course, you can always find information about any of these events on our Facebook page or on our website. So thank you all again. Shab Bakhair, and hope to see you again next year.
Okay.
And so
You too.
you're in Iran.
Bye-bye.
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 Bye.